Hello and welcome to Late Guerre battle reports from Cardiff, and it's the Virtus 2016 tournament organised by that crazy Desperantes guy. And my Late Romans in round 1 drew the Niceforian Byzantines. He's a wily old campaigner. It's got my work cut out here. For those who haven't seen it, you can pause and have a good look at my list. Just about squeezes on the page, courtesy of the Little Army Builder. Thank you for that. So you'll see at the top, I've maxed out pretty much on the heavy cavalry. So 4 of them have got impact, 2 of which are elite, and it's 2 other heavy cavalry, just making up the numbers and trying to catch the edges. And they got a bit of protection from 2 light cavalry, 1 with bows, 1 with javelins. Then you got the main legionaries, only 3 legionaries, which is a bit of a shame. I could do some more hitting power there, really. But the trade-off was there because it bought the 2 catapults. There we go, the medium artillery, which moves 2, fires 6. And then my doughty auxiliaries, represented by the dwarves, who are worth an extra reroll at least. Take on anything, usually. So Niceforian Byzantines, you want to look it up, page 128. And he has got the strategist and all kinds of stuff. And as you'll see, it's mostly cavalry with bows, and then the mixed units of spears and bows. So I was rather glad I stayed up late cutting out some bigger pieces of felt for my terrain. So as you can see, well, I can explain to you, we've got the 3 green ones representing fields, 2 brown ones represent plantations. Those little plantations I made, very pleased with those. And he's gone for the hill at the top, and the very top right hand corner, a gully, which I haven't seen before. One of the reasons you come to tournaments is see new stuff. People always try something different for an advantage, and that gully is worth finding out about if you haven't been up against one. Okay, so that's where the luck of the dice has plonked everything. So as you can see, the top right hand corner is looking pretty blocked up. So that's not too bad. Keep his cavalry down. I could do with some more cover at this end, but I do have the 1 field to stop the cavalry outflanking me. And then we roll to see if we can move stuff around. And there you go. So the plantation top right, he's managed to push that even further back. And the gully's been pushed a bit more towards me, which becomes quite significant. It's just outside my deployment zone for ambushes. But it's, where else can I go? Because the field's moved on the left as well. I need more auxiliaries to have somewhere to go for a bit of cover, for more like cavalry, and the gullies seem like a good option. Okay, straight in, turn 1. I'm a defender, so my opponent goes off. And he's formed only 2 corps. So the 3rd corps is either in flank march or in ambush. And I was pretty sure it's going to be an ambush. Flank march. So I was worried about my left flank as we look at it. I can't really see a way of me protecting that. Without sacrificing my whole army. But as you can see, I hope you can see, in the middle there's a few units of cavalry with bows on the left as we look, and then just inside those towards the centre there's some mixed units of spears and bows. On the right there's a bit of a rabble there with like 200 axes and stuff. Actually don't have spears and bows, but they've got a few skirmishes. And I've decided that's the weak link, and if the other unit's going to come on flank marching, I'll try and destroy those quickly before they get on the table and try and win the game by wiping out these 2 corps. Okay, so to my turn. And I've shoved up the auxiliaries through the gully in the middle. You'll also notice on the bottom I've got 2 units of cavalry that's detached from the main cavalry corps. They're both heavy, one's elite, you can see by the banner, and their plan is to sweep round and take out that infantry in the middle while I've got it outnumbered before any support can get in. My light cav have got up on the left, and they're going to try and win a shooting battle with that light cav. As you can see, I put a pip on those, so that's good news. Well, hopefully you can see the red dots are pips, or hits. So my cavalry come around to the centre, we're lining up. And the legionaries, I could see wasn't going to advance with these guys, so they pushed up with the artillery. We're all a bit squashed in, that's just the nature of the battlefield. I'm hoping to get them up there and then hopefully start to make some gaps for me to move through and take them on. Thinking about it, maybe I could just almost left the artillery behind and marched straight through the legionaries and taken them on, but only 3 of them. It's not enough, so I want to work with the cavalry, which you can see steaming up on the right there. Okay, so he's actually revealed these guys at the back, and as you can see, he's got one unit on the ambush square if you haven't used those rules, and the other ones are adjacent to make up a group. He's hidden by the terrain, so they haven't all got to be in the terrain, although I do think they're all slowed down by it, so a little bit of breathing space while they come whizzing around there. And you can see how far they're getting. Also, notice in the middle I've got the light cavalry trying to put some pressure on those guys in the middle. Now the race is on here, and it's quite crucial how far his cavalry can move around that field. So I think he must have used 2 activations because they went quite a long way. And we're pushing up to the middle with the gully, which I'm realising is a bit of an error. The problem with the gully is he can be shot at from the edge, shooting down. You only shoot 1 out. And if you do charge out, you're at disadvantage. So he's pushed up to the edge of the gully, blocked it with skirmishers. Probably could have put the skirmishers just inside the gully. Even better, I'll have to fight them as well then. Yeah. So my doughty dwarves, my heroes of 20 odd years, in a bit of trouble there. So hopefully get the cavalry up and do a mass charge of everyone. Here's the artillery chugging up. Now this is interesting on the left. You see my light cav did a shooting casualty. So his general trotted out and rallied them first. Then his medium cavalry declared a charge on my light cavalry, and he was rather surprised to say, no, we're standing there and taking it. Because 2 light calves as good as a medium cav. You don't have to flee. And we measured it for the next unit to come along and support them on the side, and they don't reach. So I've got 2-to-1 odds and an even chance of winning that. And not just won it, they did 2 pips. See the red counters there? 2 pips. 1 more pip and that medium cavalry is gone. And the light cav couldn't support because they've been rallied this turn. But in the centre, the shooting's starting to pick off my guys. Light cavalry screens got hit and the auxiliaries. All that was in first turn apparently. So turn 2. And at the end of my turn 2, I think the counter's a bit late there because it includes some of my moves. Won the melee again and destroyed the medium cav. So good start to the day. Light cav takes out a medium cav. First blood. Hooray! We're getting a bit stuck in the middle. We managed to do some shooting out. I think that must be from the artillery because the bows can't shoot out the gully. And it's getting a bit awkward there. I've got to get stuck in. I'm going to lose the shooting battle. If I'd stayed, I could have stayed all the way back and just let the artillery keep shooting. I was trying to be as aggressive as possible. I think there might have been an error here. Okay, so meanwhile, heavy calves coming down the right to try and charge into those units. They're out isolated. I really want to engage everything he's got on the table before his cavalry comes sweeping round. The guys are in ambush. I think it was 6 units of heavy cavalry with bows and stuff, and some lights with them. So a major force, so it's best to try and beat the army beforehand. The rules on the table there, because I've moved that light cavalry up, a bit of a sacrifice to get within 4 UDs to stop them marching all the way around the back of me. On to turn 3. Okay, so there's the situation overview. Hope you can see that okay. He's trying to work out how to get the cavalry to swing around as quickly as possible. So the solution he came up with was for his cavalry that's on the edge of the plantation. I need some pointers here really. To charge my light cav with the ruler sticking out of it, with the hope that they flee, so that this other stuff will be freed up to do 2 moves. But no, I love fighting with light horse, so they're going to stick it out. You don't want to be light horse in my army. Life expectancy is pretty low. So he's wheeled everything else, and one had enough movement. Just about. Looked pretty close to me. There we are. They've squeezed in. I should have put my cavalry a bit further back, as it turned out, because he's managed to get support in there. So he's got 2-to-1 against the light cav. Things are looking so good for them. And also, it's just above my cavalry on the left here. There's some light infantry, the skirmishers, who can now turn and jump in from the back. And that's just in as well. It's all very close. Unfortunate. Can't quite see it there. The light cav are now surrounded. There we go. It's a better picture. Light cav surrounded. Not looking good for those guys, but they have still stopped the march move of the heavy cav. Oh, another picture, just in case you couldn't see. So now you get a better view of it. Will the light cav hold out against that lot? Over on this side, the heavy cavalry is now rumbled up next to the auxiliaries. So now all in position for a joint charge. And I'm hoping superior numbers, even though he's got spears. He does fight mediocre because they're mixed units. The artillery's done that pip, so maybe I could have carried on shooting. The purple markers, by the way, are old wounds. So you can see my light cav and my heavy cav are both carrying a pip from his shooting. So most people who say shooting's not very effective, you want to be up against a lot of it. Okay, so getting the artillery. The problem I got now is my light cav are going out doing a great job trying to get some hits in. They're supposed to be acting as spotters for the artillery, but they keep getting in the way. So the left-hand piece, ballista has moved up and pivoted to get some shots in. Yep. As you can see, the difficulty I have here is the two cavalry at the front are both carrying disorders, disruptions, wounds, whatever you want to call them. So I want to get the two at the back in because they're fresher. So the first unit has moved over to the left to make room for the guys in the white horses to go through with the commander. And the other unit's trying to find a place to get out the way as well. I'm thinking maybe I should just expanded the line during the charge, but I think the problem was the second rank doesn't quite make it. Now it's all a bit tight. So on this side, put the markers out to see if I could do a support with one of the heavy cavalry to join in that melee to save the light cav. Probably have done it. The one on the left could have engaged to cancel his own control. The other one goes in. But what's the point, really? That light cav's had it. And in go the boys. The dwarves. My auxiliary Romans, Auxilia Palatina. Otherwise known as my unbeatable dwarves. And they push up and engage. The cavalry engage. We're all charging. Let's get the game going. These two, those, as you notice on the right, the skirmishers have moved into the field. The gully. So they get melee advantage. I've got the archers there shooting them. So with very little left, I decided to shoot them up. The skirmishers and the bowmen. I think in hindsight, the auxiliaries had just gone in. Just kept going, pushing, whatever the odds. So you can see the heavy cavalry with the wounds are out the way, and the fresh heavy cavalry have gone charging in to get this battle underway. And on the right, amazingly, you see one red counter in the middle of your screens where the light horse survived that melee. I've even bet they could have won it, but hey, can't be too greedy. So they got a flank, a rear, charge, light cav, add it all on, get a good roll, and they survived. So that's great news. Unfortunately, the heavy cavalry thundering through the middle here just can't break that lot. Actually, the light horse survived 2 rounds because it's the end of my turn. You see the charge, so they didn't get hit at all on his turn when he charged them, and then they survived just taking 1 pip this turn. So tough guys. And if the heavy cavalry could have got a couple of pips on his infantry in the middle, could have broken through there, and it could have been evened up. And as you see, the auxiliaries, the dwarves are refusing to rally, and they're picking up shooting casualties. But if you look closely, there are 3 red counters on the left-hand side of the screen. And there's the 3 counters explained. The right edge of the auxiliaries has gone piling in, the doughty dwarves, and they've smashed 3 wounds in 1 round and destroyed their opposite numbers. So they've gone. The other auxiliary are battling away. We're taking a pip on the cavalry, and we're actually winning the other battles with the overlaps. And now the idea here, if you look on the left, I put the light cavalry, 1 to give support, and 1 to form an angle to stop, to shield against that heavy cavalry coming in from the top left. Now I thought I'd angled them where there's just no gap to go through. As long as I don't flee, which I'm not going to, it's almost impossible to get to that. Maybe get 1 into the support position, but you can't at least charge the flank. So that's what I was trying to do. I have to say the whole game is a bit fiddly. I mean, first game could be a bit slow start, a bit slow getting everything together and the maps and all that kind of thing. There are a few rule queries, so we're under a bit of time pressure, unfortunately. There's a better view. See what you think, if that light cav is protecting the flank, or if you can push your way through there somehow. You also notice the cataphracts don't want to be left out. They're now overtaking the artillery. Just going to get another shot at the heavy cav. The light cav are going to swing around the flank. So if I could just rally off some of those pips in the middle, I think we're winning this flank. And here you see the auxiliaries are moving forward after pushing them back and breaking through. They're great. Start to wonder after a while. So that's why I couldn't drop them. I wanted more legionaries and stuff, or upgrades, more elite units. But these guys are the star of every show, so I had to keep 3 of those. And I was nowhere else wanted to lose points. Okay, turn 5, getting near to the end, unfortunately. So that's how we ended up. The light cav do indeed screen. There's one manages to squeeze through and form an overlap, unfortunately. More than overlap. I'd like cavalry there. They fled. That was a mistake. I think they should have stayed there and taken it. But they probably would have died. I should have stayed with both, shouldn't I? Because there's no overlap on my horses with the general now. Thought he'd be tough enough to take it. Now we don't get to resolve this turn. Certainly, it seems very short when you play a report. But it took a long time in the game when we were out of time. And you don't get much heads up. You just get told that's the end, and you sort of square things off to the end of the turn, and that's it. I think if we had resolved it, though, I reckon I'd have broken through that left flank. The Romans looking good. It's a very aggressive attack here. Auxiliaries are going through. The bowmen are doing okay. The right-hand side is going to be difficult. That's certainly true, because I think light horse are finally going to give up. I mean, a miracle if they didn't die. And we're not. The 2 units of heavy cavalry have not broken through that heavy foot, and they're about to get overrun. Unless they got very lucky dice and broken me in 1 turn. Yeah, just see a red dot on the light cav. Well done, guys. Managed to hold out. And very unfortunately, we had to leave it there and tot up the scores. I'd love to have played this on. I thought it was a really interesting game. Lots of movement. And, you know, we're pushing through the centre of the left. The Byzantines are now coming on the right. It's all to play for, really. We're both taking casualties. Final score was like 5-6 or something like that. Anyway, we both scored about 42 points. So not a disaster, but if I want to get results, I have to get stuck in a bit quicker with this army. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed that. Other rounds to follow. And plus some reports from the tournament itself, how it went. And more stuff. So, hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments. I love getting feedback. And keep rolling.